Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from the relationship advice subreddit from LeftMix9688 and says, my 28 male girlfriend, 37 female, has spent the last 3 years telling me that men and women can't be friends. She now has a guy friend. How do I show her that she is being hypocritical? I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years. Our general dynamic is that she's very opinionated and has a very black and white perspective of thinking, especially when it comes to generalizations, i.e. men and women cannot be friends, whereas I'm a lot more laid back and I try to pride myself on being objective and seeing the grey area. My entire life, I've been able to connect better with women as opposed to men. Most of my closest friends have been women. I've been introduced to many romantic partners or have met some of my exes by associating with these friends, but I've never dated, pursued, or even thought about pursuing any of my actual friends. When I met my girlfriend, I was working in a restaurant and was very close friends with a few of the servers. We'd go out for drinks and food, hang out alone, and keep in contact outside of work. My girlfriend, being very insecure, absolutely hated this. We would constantly fight about the fact that I had female friends. There was this one friend in particular she could absolutely not stand. I'll call her Jess. I cannot even begin to tell you how many god-awful, horrible fights there were over Jess. I was constantly accused by my girlfriend of being in love with Jess, only being with my girlfriend to bide my time until Jess was single. At one point, I was even accused of being the father to Jess's aborted son. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I was constantly harassed and interrogated every single day by my girlfriend about Jess and I's secret relationship. Jess did turn out to be a bad friend, and we stopped talking 2 years ago. And then it was any other friend that my girlfriend didn't like. I still have to listen to my girlfriend rant about Jess and I's secret relationship, by the way. This entire time I am sent God only knows how many TikToks about how men and women cannot be friends. I'm constantly told about men and women she knows in real life cheating and being cheated on with their friends. I'm constantly told that if she ever has a guy friend, I should be worried because she's only friends with guys she feels some kind of way about. After a solid year of being constantly harassed by girlfriend about every non-lesbian in my life, we came to a compromise. I will not add any women on Snapchat. I will never hang out alone with another girl. After negotiating from, if a girl is there, I shouldn't go. Even though she initially agreed that it's okay for me to add friends and colleagues on Facebook and Instagram, as long as I actually know them. She still stalks my friends list and interrogates me about any new woman that may be on there. About a year ago, my girlfriend confesses to something sus. The day my grandmother died, she tells me that she was talking to her ex-situationship. This guy was a real piece of shit, and when he had reached out to her previously, I gave him my blessing to talk to him and get closure. The only catch being that they don't meet up, and she saves all the messages between them because she deleted everyone's messages off of her phone. He asked her to meet up with him and suck his dick. I had to argue with her to block him because she doesn't like to block people, and she finally relented. So I was obviously upset because why was he unblocked? Her excuse was she unblocked everybody and he messaged her. That's weird, but okay. Let me see the messages. She deleted them. Now I'm pissed and emotionally from the fact that my grandmother just died. We get into a fight and I demand she blocks him again. She says she did. The next day we go back to my place and I've already moved past it until I playfully reach out to grab her phone and she rips it out of my hand. She gives me about 3 bullshit reasons as to why she did that, then finally tells me it's because he didn't block her yet. At this point, I'm furious. I feel betrayed. I feel even more upset because the night before she made another cheating accusation because it was suspicious because I was watching her place a DoorDash order on my phone. And here she is actually doing something sketchy. I ultimately compromise again and get over it. So, fast forward to about a few months ago. My girlfriend has settled down quite a bit in regards to the whole cheating thing. I mainly associate with men now. There are women I work with, but we're not close. A seldom few are added into the abyss that I call my Facebook friends list or my Instagram followers, never to be interacted with. I'm still accused of collecting women as backups. My girlfriend starts a new job at a hotel. She immediately connects with her manager, a guy I'll call Jeff. Jeff has a girlfriend, but apparently spends his entire shift pining after my girlfriend and shit-talking his girlfriend. He stays up late on her shifts to help her. Their friendship progresses from the point of her calling him off the clock to come into work and solve issues at their job, to him getting a job at the sister hotel and just going to my girlfriend's job to hang out with her. He calls her when he's bored, but not when he's around his girlfriend, because she doesn't want him talking to my girlfriend. He's openly admitted to her that he has a crush on her. She doesn't see a problem with this at all. What worries me? Girlfriend has a history of cheating. She cheated on her last partner but claims it wasn't a real relationship, so it doesn't count, despite the fact that they were both in an exclusive relationship. She also does not want me interacting with this guy at all. I made an effort to introduce her to Jess and any of my other friends. I told her that at any point in time she could talk to Jess about our friendship. I'm still not allowed to have any women as friends in my life. Out of anger and in an attempt to get her to see the hypocrisy, I told her that if she has a guy friend and she's going to break the rules we have for friends, and I should be able to have friends that are women. She pretended to agree, but it then turned into, "Oh, so which girl do you have in mind and who are you going to run to?" Which then resulted in a fight. I have no idea how to proceed. I'm considering breaking up with her, but I feel I might be overreacting. I'm worried about being cheated on because our relationship cannot come back from that, but I'm also incredibly upset by the double standard. How can I make her see my point of view that her behavior is hypocritical? There's so many red flags in that one post that would have had me out of that situation a long time ago. I know it can be hard to see when you're in it sometimes, especially when you're with a toxic individual like herself. Hypocrisy, the past of cheating, it sounds like she's potentially doing it again. A lot of people talking about that, possibly projection, and the age gap as well. The first commenter says to OP, "I don't know why it's taking you this long to consider breaking up with this chick. Just fucking break up with her. Good lord. This should be the only advice you need and take an effect immediately." Another commenter says he should have broken up with her in half the time it took him to write this post. Designer says, "Reading this, I was thinking this has projection from a cheater vibes, not some principled stand about opposite sex friendships while in a relationship written all over it." Then I got to the part where you said she has a history of cheating on her boyfriend and she has no remorse, nor is she apologetic about it. Don't even mention the part where she's texting her ex behind your back and deleting texts. Dude, why are you still with her? It doesn't even sound like this is a good relationship you have. Maybe take her at her word and understand what befriending a new guy who is into her means for her. And see this as a sign that your relationship has run its natural course and choose when and how to exit on your own terms. So 6 weeks later, OP came in with another post and said, "A few commenters asked me why I stayed with her so long. The honest truth, I love her. I still love her, and I can ultimately recognize that she was extremely hypocritical, emotionally abusive and controlling. I never really believed that was the real her because when I met her, she had started the depot shot and that made her bonkers. As the effects of the shot wore off, she started to mellow out. Even though it was still bad, the very, very slow progress gave me hope, and that's what I held on to. It's very easy to look at my original post and think only of bad things because that's the only thing I shared. But we had so many great moments too. I did end up breaking up with her. With that being said, this is probably going to be a longer post, so if that's all the update you want, then you can stop reading here. After I made this initial post, I read every comment as they came in. Eventually, ended up reading her my original post in full, and all of your replies. This was, of course, an issue for her. First it was, why would you do that? Why would you post our personal business online? Then it turned into, who cares what they think? They're just random people on the internet. We argued every day for about a week. I'll be honest, none of the advice really mattered. I didn't follow it. I loved her after all, and I believed we could work it out. We talked a lot too. I genuinely believe she had no feelings for Jeff whatsoever. I also believed her when she told me that she told him that they would never be more than friends. Whether I was being gullible or not, the main issue now was with the double standard of her having a close guy friend when women aren't even allowed to look at me without it being a topic of argument later. So I did what I have done the entire relationship. I compromised my feelings and moved on, with the understanding that I would no longer be tolerating any accusations about me being unfaithful or my feelings of love/attraction towards other women. At that point, we were talking about the argument instead of actually arguing, and we got on the topic of Jess again, my secret relationship, and my love for her. I told her that I wasn't going to put up with it anymore. The subject then got changed to a girl I currently work with, Tiff. Tiff has been a subject of many fights between my girlfriend and I. I'm obviously in love with her because I tell my girlfriend that I can't stand her. I reassure her again and tell her that this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm then told that I'm being dismissive of her feelings. I tell her, I told you that I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. If you can't drop it, I don't want to talk to you anymore tonight. And I hung up on her. The next day, I'm at work, and I text her asking if she was still in a mood. And she says no. Then she starts texting me a huge paragraph saying, "It's okay if you do like Tiff. If you can just be honest with me, we can work past it together." At this point, I'm starting to get frustrated and I get upset. I was literally begging her to drop it. I finally just said, "This is the last time I'm going to tell you. I do not have feelings for Tiff. Please stop. I don't want to talk to you if this is all we're going to talk about." She then has the audacity to say, "I think you do. I just don't think you know you do. You're too young to know how you feel, and you probably just don't realize how you really feel." This was my breaking point. As I sat there staring at my phone, a singular comment from my last post just popped into my head. Imagine how much your mental health will improve once you dump her. And I finally just text her that this isn't working out and I'm breaking up with her. Like I anticipated, she did not take it well. I've tried to break up with my girlfriend in the past when we first started dating. She showed up to my home and threatened to kill herself if I left her. Call me stupid, but that worked on me. She knows that I have attempted before. She knows that I lost my best friend ever to suicide. I told her if she ever threatened me with that again, I'd have her committed. She starts freaking out, calling me 10 times while I'm at work, blowing up my phone, saying that she is in physical pain because I broke up with her. She can't breathe, her chest hurts. I stick to my guns and just say, if that's really how you're feeling, I can call an ambulance for you. I keep telling her that I'm breaking up with her. I don't hear from her again for a few hours. She calls me on my way home from work, asking why I haven't texted or called her. She was so upset that she fell and hurt herself. I just keep telling her, I can call an ambulance for you if you'd like. Eventually I say she's only embarrassing herself by making these threats. And if she doesn't stop, I call the police and have them commit her. Then she starts telling me that I don't care about her. I don't love her, the whole 9 yards. I just keep saying I love you so much and this breaks my heart, but mental health is suffering because of the way you treat me. Finally she tells me that I can't break up with her. I don't have a good reason to. I say I'm a grown adult in the United States of America. I can break up with you because the sky is blue if I so desire. You're probably wondering why I haven't just blocked her at this point. And it's because I was genuinely terrified that she would show up to my job and make a scene or show up at my house. Which leads me to the next part of the story. She keeps asking me how long I'm going to be mad at her and being in denial about the fact we've broken up. The next morning I woke up really early to take my roommate to work. I changed my relationship status on Facebook to single and changed my profile picture. On my way home she calls me again. "Where are you? Why aren't you home?" I freaked out, screaming at her onto the phone, "You better not be inside my house. Leave my house, you lunatic." Stuff like that. I even threatened to call the police on her and get a restraining order. She calls my bluff. I pulled into a parking lot where I can see a car in front of my house. She was never in my house, just in the parking lot. I text her to leave and keep telling her I'll call the cops. She stops answering. I didn't want to call the police, mainly because I've often seen them weaponized by the women in my life, which is another reason I don't want to confront her. So I called her dad instead. I told him the situation and it turns out he followed her to my house. They lived together to get her to leave. I later find out that Jeff did call her the day we broke up. He was happy that her relationship with me was over. She cursed him out and blocked his number. I just keep telling her that the fact that even came to this just proves that she doesn't respect me. The next few weeks have been her calling and texting me to work things out. Multiple paragraph apologies, promises of change. Her family started out as understanding and supportive of me. but as of lately, just been randomly calling me behind her back to ask how long is this going to go on, because she is incredibly depressed, despite the fact I've made it clear that as of right now, I have no intention of taking her back. After one phone call from her stepdad, where he started to raise his voice, I just hung up and blocked her whole family. I just keep telling her the same thing. I have no intention of getting back together with you. Maybe in the future, after you work on yourself, we can talk about it. I haven't blocked her, because I do care about her. I want her in my life, just not in a romantic sense. I tell her that she can't handle just being my friend, that I will have to stop talking to her altogether, and that just because I am her friend, I don't want her to think that means we're getting back together. Last time I spoke to her, a few days ago, it seems that she's finally understanding the gravity of the situation. She has taken accountability and has already met with a therapist. We've been broken up for about a month and a half. I do feel a lot better mentally. I feel kind of free. I don't have to justify anything to anybody. I also feel alone and a bit depressed at times. I feel stupid for letting someone emotionally bully me into getting rid of all of my close friends. It is a mixed bag, but I'm taking this time to work on myself. Tiger's Blood says, why would you want to be friends with a controlling, manipulative ex-girlfriend? You know the second any girl comes into your life, it's going to be drama for her. Don't do it. Just move on and leave her in the past. Construction No says, I think he still hasn't processed just how awful she was to him. She's clearly played enough games with him that he feels he needs to be in her life in some way. OP, please read this comment and block her. Whatever she does next will never be your fault, even if she ends up hurting herself. She's a fully grown adult and has a support system outside of you. You need to cut her off completely and let her work on herself independently. She'll never make the progress she needs to ever associate with you again while you're still in her life. Good luck, man. Hopefully you can talk to a therapist and work on why you stayed for so long, why you never called an ambulance, etc. And a final comment from Grimwall who says, moreover, any woman worth a damn isn't going to date a man who won't cut off his manipulative ex. You need to actually close the door on her, or you haven't moved on. Nobody wants to hear it's complicated from a nearly 30-year-old man. You're pulling the same shit you did in your last post. You aren't committing to what you know you need to do, and it's going to continue to weigh on you until you do. I'm not saying this to denigrate you, because you made a big change and should be proud of that. I want you to be conscious that you are still operating in half measures. Block and move on. And absolutely, I've got to agree with those comments that blocking and moving on is absolutely the right thing to do. I think currently with the girlfriend's state of mind, it's always given her that slight little bit of hope there that she can get back together with OP and continue to be in his life. And like a couple of the comments said there, that if he ever has any other female friends, that's causing potential danger for them. She sounded really unhinged in certain parts of this story. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Throwaway Cheap Gift, who says, me, 40 male, with my wife, 40 female, of 10 years. Disappointing anniversary gift. My wife and I have been married for 10 years, and we celebrated our anniversary 2 weeks ago. For them that don't know, the 10th is considered the diamond anniversary. And I knew that this anniversary was really important to my wife. Don't get me wrong, it was important to me as well. We've been a good team for 10 years, but it was a really big deal for her, and I wanted to spoil her. I'd picked up some extra work over the last 6 months to make sure they had money to buy her some nice gifts and to take her out for a nice night. My wife had been asking me about what I would like, and I pointed out that I could do with a new desk. We'd spoke about it, and she wasn't happy buying me furniture for our anniversary. But I explained that I spent a lot of time sitting there and I could really do with a new one. I pointed out a couple of options that I liked, all affordable and solid. On the day, I got a flat-packed piece of shit from a well-known furniture company. Compared to my current desk, it is small, flimsy, and doesn't have anywhere to store my stuff. So I haven't used it. I ain't mad, just disappointed. Problem is that my wife keeps asking me why I won't change over to the new desk. I have no idea how to tell her, and I don't want it to turn into a fight. How do I say, darling, you bought me shit for a gift, without saying that? And okay, the update was within the same post. I've already caught a little glimpse of it, so I can't really comment on it. And originally I was going to go down the path of like, I would just literally open up and say that you really appreciate that she took the time to do it, but the desk just isn't suitable for your needs. Is there any way that they can look into a different one? You know, if I was someone in that position buying the gift, I'd prefer that they tell me and got something that they wanted rather than grin and bearing it for the sake of it, you know? And many of the comments were exactly the same thing. But as I said, I saw the update already. It says, they played me like a damn fiddle. I took some of the good advice here and I sat down with my wife when she came home. I told her the desk was too small for me and asked if it would be okay if we took it back and got something bigger. All time she sat there with a poker face. Finally calls our daughter and says, it only took him 15 days. Turns out that my wife thinks she is a comedian, and so does my daughter. There is some sort of crazy oak desk being shipped to us. When my wife ordered it, they told her it'd take about 3 weeks to get to us. So my darling daughter convinced my wife that they should pass off her new desk as my gift. Thanks to everyone that offered advice. And I think most of the comments after this one were relieved that there was just like no affair, nothing. It was pretty wholesome in some ways. Some people didn't see it that way. Some people said that she left him for 15 days worrying. For me, I personally wouldn't mind if a partner did this kind of thing to me. I think it's just a case of, you know, reading your relationship. But, cheeky butt. Now I'm going to turn it. Why did I say that? Now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a